Can't do it, guys. I got to tell you the truth. I have suffered immeasurably. I'm not saying feel sorry for me. I'm not saying give me, no, no, no. I'm not asking for pity. I'm not asking for any of that. I have suffered immeasurably. I have lost a lot of sleep. I have felt physically ill, like I contracted some insane virus. I watching these last 4 days of this basically glorified high school prep rally with zero substance, zero policy, zero initiatives, zero programs. You heard what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said in his suspension of his campaign speech and his endorsement of Trump. He said during the entire RNC, President Biden was mentioned 3 times. During the entire convention, this pageantry of eloquent lies, the DNC, otherwise known as the DNC, they mentioned Trump over 315 times. They mentioned the border less than a dozen times. They mentioned crime less than 5 times. They mentioned inflation less than 10 times. They mentioned actual problems that Americans face exorbitantly, disproportionately less than they mentioned Donald Trump. They've had control of the White House 12 of the entire government. 12 of the last 16 years. And what did they say this entire week? Everything is Trump's fault. The border's Trump's fault. Crime is Trump's fault. Inflation's Trump's fault. Their foreign policy is Trump's fault. The fact that Putin invaded, they actually said this, that Ukraine is all Trump's fault. I mean, how can you say this? How can you say this with a straight face? So the party of smoke and mirrors, everything, it was immeasurably insufferable. Okay. And I want to play you, I'll play you, you know what I'll do? I'll play you one snippet just because it's so good before I get to Tucker. You have to see this because this is just so good. It's just so good. By the way, stick around, super chats and super stickers. I will get to all of you at the end and give you a live shout out. Here's one clip I have no problem sharing. Listen to cackling Kamala.
After decades in law enforcement, I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border. After decades in law enforcement, I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border.
How do you say that with a straight face? How do you say that with a straight face? How in the world can you possibly utter those words when you literally had one task for 4 years as vice president? You literally had one job, which was to be the border czar, in control of the border, no matter what the woke fake mafia media tells us. No, she was never, I'm sorry, sir, you're incorrect. She was never, yes, she was. There's proof, not only in written form, but in video form. Proof. I did an entire video on this. Check my channel. There is proof that Biden, on the first month of his presidency, I mean, it was around March, the first year of his presidency, said, I am putting Kamala Harris in charge of the border. The borders are. We have the worst border crisis in the history of our country. Over 18 million unvetted, unscreened, unfettered, illegal migrants. And now, because you need the vote, you're giving them free loans? You sorry sack of suds. You're giving them $15,000 credit cards. You're giving them thousands and thousands of dollars of food stamps. You're giving them an accelerated pathway to citizenship, a citizenship that my parents who were immigrants in the 70s and millions of other legal immigrants had to work their ass off to earn. You're just giving it to them. And these aren't families looking for a better world. These aren't families looking for the promised land, not even close. These are military-aged men, cartels, thugs, murderers, rapists. If you didn't watch the video, it's heartbreaking. It's emotional. But if you didn't watch the video that I posted yesterday, highly, highly recommend it. President Trump at the Arizona border, listening to the stories of those families, listening to them plead with Americans after losing loved ones to illegal migrants, these criminals. Losing! Not they're injured, they're wounded. They're gone. God rest their souls. Listening to their stories drove a stake into my heart, and it should terrify every American to the marrow of your bones. If this cackling comrade, fascist empty vessel, lobotomized, parasiticized, brainless, craniumless vulture gets into the White House, it should terrify all of you to the marrow of your bones. I am not playing. By the way, it was one of the fastest, shortest speeches in the history of a, individual getting the nomination for their party. It lasted, I think, less than 30 minutes or less than 25 minutes or something crazy like that. Whereas Trump at the RNC went for like an hour and a half, I think 90 minutes plus. She only spoke for like 15, 20 minutes. And one thing I have to say really quickly, and by the way, I'm going to show you Tucker Carlson right now. There was a moment, and I'm not going to share it because it freaking makes me want to punch my own face. It makes me that angry. It makes me so angry, I'm probably going to have a heart attack live on camera. There was a moment last night where this vile, reprehensible, anti-American garbage of a human being, evil of a human being. First time I've ever heard chants of USA at a Democratic rally, anything, at a Democratic anything. The crowd started chanting USA and she cut them off. I'm not going to show it because literally, I'm telling you right now, it's going to make me rip my chest apart. It's going to make me rip my eyes out. I'm going to go crazy. I was so upset when I saw that. She cuts you think Trump would cut off American patriots chanting USA, USA? No, you know what Trump does? Trump does this. He says it as well. Not only did she not join them in the rejoicing of our amazing republic, the greatest country ever invented in the history of mankind, which is why we have millions and millions of people pouring in like a tsunami into our country, because we have the best opportunities ever. Not only did she not join in and rejoice, she actually cut them off. She actually cut them off. I'm shaking right now. You can see my hand. I'm shaking right now. It makes me so. I'm not showing it. No. I am not showing it. It makes me crazy. Go watch it yourself. I sat through this crap for 4 straight days, listening to vile, garbage, vomit-inducing, parasiticized, lobotomized, brainless vomit and foam coming from the mouth. I can't do it anymore. I give up. I can't do that stuff anymore. It drives me crazy. So if you want to see it, go see it. But it was in her speech. It was in her speech last night on the final day of the DNC, where the crowd started chanting USA, USA, and she cut them off. That is so revealing. You can't hide that. And did you notice how she started her speech? Thank you. Okay, we got to get down to business. Oh, really? We're going to get down to business? Oh, I can't wait to hear some policies. And then what does she do? She talked about her family and her upbringing and how she was raised. Oh, and by the way, excuse me, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, where was your father last night? Her father's still alive. Where was your father last night? Why was your father not present to see his daughter, one of the first African-American black female president nominees, female? It's all about things that are out of your control, not about actual substance, not about actual concrete credentials. It's all about things that are out of your control, like the pigment of your skin and the color of your hair and your gender. That's DEI. Didn't earn it. Where was your father? He's alive. He's old. I mean, he's like 83 or something. But where was your father? Tell me that's not revealing. How is that not revealing? What the hell's going on there? He didn't want to see his daughter, the first African-American female, get nominated to president of the United States? I mean, there's something there. To me, that's sus, as my kids would say. That is suspect. That is fishy. Something stinks. Something is rotten in Denmark, folks. Okay. I've ranted enough. I know what you guys are thinking. Nez, get to it. Okay. I think Tucker Carlson absolutely nails this in such a way that to me is just so powerful. Okay. And I'm going to share this because it's so powerful. I want you to listen to this.